You're not ungrateful. You're awake. This is the Dignity Room, a place that's always yours. Come in.
I want you to ask something, and I want you to actually answer it, not just keep listening. Is there a single space in your life, a stretch of time, a place, an evening that's completely, unquestionably yours? Not yours unless someone needs it. Not yours if everything else is done first. Yours, protected, known by everyone around you as yours. Take a moment and really look. Unfortunately, for a lot of women, the honest answer is no, not one. The bathroom isn't safe, someone will knock. The bedroom isn't safe because people find you there when they need something. Even your own thoughts get interrupted by someone calling your name from another room. You can run an entire household, hold a full time job, carry the invisible load for everyone, and somehow not have a single hour in the week that belongs only to you. That's not a small thing. Today, let's actually look at it. Last episode, we looked at the guilt that arrives the moment you think about your own needs. Today is what comes after that. Once you can question the guilt, what do you actually build in this place? The answer is a boundary. But I want to use this word carefully because it does strange things to people. When most women hear set a boundary, they picture a confrontation, a hard conversation, someone getting hurt, a conflict they'd rather avoid. So the whole idea gets filled under too difficult and they go back to having no space at all. But that's not what a boundary actually is. A wall keeps people out. A boundary is more like a door with a lock. It doesn't reject anyone, it just means you decide who comes in and when. The people you love are still completely welcome. You're just the one who decides the terms instead of having no terms at all. So, a space of your own, in that sense, isn't selfish. It isn't a rejection. It's the most basic thing a person needs to keep showing up well for everyone else. So, let's look at why. Let me make the real case for why this matters. Not you deserve it. You've heard that before and it hasn't moved you to act. So let's look at what having no space actually costs. Think about anything that needs to recover to keep working. A field needs to rest between growing seasons or it stops producing. A muscle needs rest between workouts or it breaks down. A phone needs to charge or it simply stops. You are not a field or a muscle or a phone, but the same basic principle applies to you. Something that gives constantly with no protected space to recover eventually gives poorly. Not because it's weak, because that's what happened to anything under constant demand with no break. A space of your own isn't where you go to be selfish. It's where the version of you that's actually present actually patient, capable, and capable of real connections gets to refill. So when you skip it year after year, you don't become more available to the people you love. You become more depleted, more reactive, more likely to snap at small things. So the version of you running on no recovery is not better for anyone. So when you skip your own space because it doesn't seem like a priority right now, you are not protecting your family by doing that. You are slowly using up the resource they depend on most, which is you at your actual best. A space of your own was never the thing you earn after everything else is done. It's part of what makes the everything else possible. You've had it backwards. Treat it like the thing you get last and it never comes. Treat it like the thing that makes everyone else run and it changes how you show up everywhere. So, if a space of your own is this important, why it is so hard to actually have one? Because claiming a boundary is easy. The hard part is what happens 3 weeks later, the first time something real runs into it. So here's what that probably looks like. You decide that Tuesday evening from 7 to 8 is yours. That's the easy part. And then, about 3 weeks in, something genuinely reasonably happens at exactly that time. A child who's upset, your partner who had a hard day and needs to talk, a friend in a real crisis. And in that exact moment, the guilt from last episode comes back. Except now, it's not abstract. It's standing right in front of you, a real person, a real need, and it asks the question that ends almost every boundary before it becomes a habit. How can I hold this when someone you love needs you right now? That moment is the real obstacle. Not setting the boundary, holding it the first time it costs something. Most boundaries don't fail because they were wrong. They fail because that first test felt unbreakable and the woman folded. And once she folded, once the boundary stopped being real to anyone, including her. So here's what I want you to know before that moment arrives. Holding a boundary sometimes means tolerating someone's disappointment, even someone you love, even when the moment feels urgent. Their disappointment is real, and it is not the same as you doing something wrong. Most things that feel completely urgent in the heat of the moment can wait 30 minutes or until tomorrow, far more often than the panic of that moment suggests. You are not choosing your space over the people you love. You are choosing to stay someone who can love them well over the long run instead of being through everything you have right now. Those are not in conflict, even though in that moment they will feel like they are. So let's make this concrete. Not a life overhaul, not small space built to actually last. Choose something small. The smaller, the better to start, because once you've held one boundary through its first real test, you know it's possible. Then Bigger comes naturally. 30 minutes, a specific evening hour, a Sunday morning walk, something modest enough that defending it doesn't feel like a huge battle, but real enough that it's actually protected. Then name it out loud to the people it affects, not as a question, not as a request for permission, as information. Not, would it be okay if maybe sometimes I had a little bit of time for myself? No, something closer to from 7 to 7:30. I am not available. Same as when I'm in a work call. Say it plainly without any apology attached. It needs to land as exactly what it is, a simple fact about your week, not a rejection and not a negotiation. And then, this is the part that matters most. When the first real test comes, pause before you fold. Ask yourself honestly, can this actually wait 30 minutes? Almost always it can. And if you hold it even once, even when it was uncomfortable, even when someone was a little disappointed, you've just proved something to yourself that no amount of thinking could prove. The boundary survived, nobody fell apart, and you are still standing. That's how the space gets built, not all at once. One small held boundary at a time until you look around one day and realize you have somewhere that is actually finally only yours. The show is called The Dignity Room for a reason. This is the real life version. Start building yours. So, here are 3 things to take with you today. 1. A boundary isn't a wall, it's a door with a lock. You still decide who comes in. So, a space of your own isn't about rejection people, it's about making sure the version of you that shows up for them is actually refilled and present, not running on empty. 2. Claiming a boundary is easy. Holding it the first time something real runs into it, that's the real work. Most boundaries break at that first test. Know it's coming. Know that someone's disappointed, and in that moment is not the same as you doing something wrong. It's okay, hold it, and then get back to this person and it will be fine. 3. Start small. Run protected 30 minutes, named plainly, without apology. When the first test comes, pause and ask, can this wait 30 minutes? And yeah, almost always it can. Hold it once and you will have proved something no amount of thinking could prove. Build from there.
I'm still walking this path too, and I made something for the walk, just for you. No stage, no pedestal. One woman to another. It's in the show notes, whenever you're ready. This was the Dignity Room. Come back soon.